Now this is going to be part 2 of the test against the Ford F450. I have a 2016 Ram 3500 with the standard output Cummins. That truck had 131,000 miles. This one has 124,000 miles. Now, I will say, that truck wasn't quite through the shop yet, but people say that Ram trucks are trash. Man, there's a lot of haters in the world. This truck is perfect. And let me show you guys something crazy about this one. Ready for this? Do you guys see the distance for miles for the trailer tow? This truck has 124,000 miles. Out of the 124,000 miles, 101,000 of it was towing. Now, this truck does have the air suspension from the factory. And let's go ahead and check out some of the towing features. I think I'm too far up with the trailer hitch, so that should fix it. So just like on that Ford, I mean, back then, you know, technology wasn't that important, but today it is, and you can tell they've come a long way with that. That Ford dropped 1.37 inches, and that was 0.87 inches. But as you guys probably saw in that footage, it lifted back up because of the factory suspension. Let's go ahead and get down the road. We're gonna go ahead and head down the road. You know, something that's really hard about doing these tow tests is every truck is different. And I haven't owned a Ram truck now in what, 2 years, right? So now that I've had a chance to not live with these trucks, I find these a little bit more harder to set up, which is probably crazy. Like the mirrors, like on these older trucks, like the convex aren't power, you have to flip them up. Yeah, they were a little bit more cumbersome compared to the competition for sure. But hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn, but I have to turn on the exhaust brake and tow haul mode, so that's done. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of these mirrors anymore, you know? Like having to get out of the truck and go on this side and this side, you have to flip them up. And of course, when you flip them up, the mirrors are not even in the same position that you need them to be in, so that's cumbersome. It's just, it was a lot of work. I was like, oh wow, like that's why I always kept my mirrors out, and that's why people made fun of me for saying I had a ghost trailer behind me. But yes, I don't really care. I like them like this, and that's how, if I got another Ram, they would always be in tow mode because I typically do 40–50%. But you know, you have a Cummins, you know, Cummins, they have that sound. Like I tell you, when I drive my Duramax, I've driven a lot of Ford trucks this year. You just gotta love that Cummins. That Cummins sounds healthy. Sounds like a diesel should, right? Got those big old pistons. Oh yeah, this truck feels good. Now, this truck is down on horsepower for sure. Now, the torque is not too bad. And that's kind of Ram's MO, like, because of the stroke of this engine, I almost wonder if that's, well, no, it's not that. I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about the transmission. The 68 and the Eisen don't have that horsepower and that speed capacity that Ford has on their transmissions. Even back then, I would say, they've always just been down on power compared to the other two, and it comes down to horsepower, that is. But yeah, this truck, oh wow, this truck feels good, guys. Like, you have to love Ram, you have to love their trucks. I mean, having the air suspension and watching that bad boy lift back up, it's just crazy. Like, this is truly the best towing truck, bar none. Like, it really is. Like, the stability, everything about it. Now, this truck has Cooper tires, and I feel as though these tires have no noise. I'm not even sure if they're new. I'm not sure if the dealer put these on. I would think they would put the Nexen tires back on these trucks because they're the cheaper tire. But yeah, if you're looking to get the same tires, these Coopers are amazing. But let me go ahead and give this truck wide open throttle real quickly. I just want to see how it feels. Oh man, that exhaust brake. Oh. That's an exhaust brake right there, guys. It puts a smile on your face. Now, wide open throttle, 50, 55, 60. Interesting. That wasn't bad. Now, back in this time frame, Now, at least I know for my 2018 that I had, they came standard with 342s. I hated the 342s on these trucks. You know, if they had an 8-speed, it probably wouldn't matter. But because it was only a 6-speed transmission, I felt like the truck suffered a little bit with towing. I always felt like there was a dead spot in the RPM range, and I feel like it needed an extra gear every single time when I towed with those trucks. Now, don't get me wrong, when they went to the 373 in 2019, I still feel like they needed an extra gear, but with this truck, it's even worse. Like, it's awful. I don't really like the 342s on these trucks. I think that if I were to ever get an older Ram again, I almost want to re-gear it to like at least a 410, you know. But all in all, I mean, the Cummins is louder compared to the Ford truck. That's the first thing I noticed. But that Ford having those overbuilt tires, they were super loud, and they were like, oh man, they were bad in my opinion. And they were a little bit more knobbier too compared to what comes on the trucks. So that could have been why as well. So you have to keep that in mind. But yeah, this truck handles great. The air suspension, it keeps the truck level. If you're putting 3,000, 4,000 pounds back there, boom, this truck's gonna take care of it for you. You don't have to go buy airbags after the fact. And I think that Ram trucks overall have really great stability. Like, this is such an easy truck to just jump into and tow it. That's why so many people do it, because they're cheaper up front and they just have more available options for them too. So you guys can see right at 65 miles an hour, we're at 1,500 RPMs. If you go back and watch the Ford video, you guys know that we were a lot higher, and that's because you have that 430 rear end. Now, if I were to go to 70 miles, I don't know if I would be able to get there. Here, let me see. I'm going around a curve right now. Here we go. I definitely hear the fan coming on. It's 98 degrees. It's a little bit warmer than it was earlier today. I have the AC blasting too. So let's see. Man, like I cannot get up to 70, guys. So at some point I'll show it to you in the video, but maybe I'll show it to you right here if I remember to do it later. But yeah, I can't get up to 70 because there's traffic. But yeah, this truck, I mean, running at 1,500 RPMs, I don't feel like you need much more power than this. But that 6% grade might say otherwise. It just might. Now, before we get to that 6% grade, I want to make a few points. I know this isn't 20,000 pounds, but I will tell you, this trailer is a sale. I say this in every video because it's something that needs to be discussed. When you're towing this type of weight on this type of trailer, it's really a challenge for these trucks. Like, I've only had 1 or 2 trucks do well going up this grade. And I'm really shocked by it because, you know, it's not that much weight back there for these types of trucks. I mean, these trucks can tow 25,000+ pounds, right? So for them to struggle to get up to 70 miles an hour, which I've seen, it's pretty crazy, especially with the turbo diesels. But I do like the Ram trucks, guys. Like, I know that a lot of you guys think I'm a fanboy of some sort. I don't think I am. I just think a lot of you guys are fanboys and you get offended by what I say. So don't take that the wrong way, but I don't really care which truck is better or not. I'm just doing testing, and when I note something, it's not because I like a truck because I'm a fanboy, it's because I can tell that there's a difference. But this truck with this Cummins, the feeling is different. You have to tow with the Ram truck. If you're a Chevy guy, GMC guy, or a Ford guy, I stress this so much, Ram trucks tow the best. And this is a 2016. I just towed this trailer with a 2016 Ford F450, and I can just tell you the stability that this truck has. And it could be the air suspension. That could be the culprit too. But that Ford had aftermarket airbags, so there could have been some help there as well, but I'm not really sure. I didn't set those up. But I'm serious when I say this. This truck tows absolutely the best. And if Ram can somehow get this truck to get more horsepower, I think that's where this truck would just shine at, because then it would be able to blast up those steep grades and get up to 75, 80 miles an hour. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to try to say I'm willing to bet you, even though this truck has a 373, I'll be shocked if we can get up over 70 miles an hour, because the Ford topped out at 67 miles an hour. I think this truck might do the same or worse. So I'm thinking maybe 65, maybe. If it gets to 70 though, I'm gonna be honest with you. I might become a Ram fanboy because that might be insane, but I know it won't. I know it won't be able to because it's so down on horsepower, and that's what you need to get up these grades. And it's only at 350, which you guys will hear here in a second. Currently, this Ram is for sale at $39,238. The Ford was for sale for about $44,000. And as far as the Carfax goes, it shows 2 owners, but it's only 1 owner. And you guys can see the miles there. No accidents. Window sticker. This is the original pricing at the time was $68,325, which is phenomenal for a dually truck today. Base price is $50,860. And just be sure to pause it for some of the options on the truck. Now this did have the 373 and the Cummins, this is the standard output, was $89.95. And as I said, this truck does have the air suspension too. Here's the specs for the truck here. So this does have the standard output Cummins. So it's going to have 370 horsepower, 800 pound-feet of torque. This one had the 68 RFE transmission, which is right here. So it shows the gearing for that. And because it's a dual rear wheel, it does have the 373 rear end. All right, here we go, guys. So I got to drop down to about 50. See how fast it's doing it because of that exhaust brake. All right, y'all ready? Here it is. So we have to beat 67 miles an hour. If we don't beat that, then the Ford wins this. 10 more miles to go. I am in, oh, why is it not showing me the gear? Yeah, we're in 4th gear. Are you serious? $63. Okay. I feel like it has a little bit more in it. There it is. And that's the other thing about these Rams. They don't RPM like the other two do because of the stroke. That's what I was talking about earlier, or I was thinking about it in my mind. But yeah, the stroke is what hurts these trucks here because they don't RPM. Oh my goodness. That Ford had 440 horsepower. Man, we're almost there. If it can get the 67, oh my goodness. That's with a 373 versus a 432. Man, I feel like it's topped out, guys. It's topped out. Oh, we lost one. No, it gets a little bit steeper right here. Yep, that's it. It's steep right here. Yep, we are pretty much at the end, guys. Wow. So we lost 1 mile an hour. Interesting. Interesting. One thing I love about the Ram though, they give you all these temperatures right here. But yeah, we did 181 degrees. Their transmissions always run cooler than the competition. As far as the fuel economy goes, I think we're at like 5.1, 5.2 on that Ford, at about the same spot. I don't think I showed it to you guys in the video, but I do remember seeing that number around this spot here. And let's go ahead and tap the brakes a little bit. You see that? My foot's not even on the brakes right now. Now I just put my foot on the brake. Oh man. That's just amazing. It literally will stop you. Now let's go ahead and check out the temperatures on the outside. So these outers, 116 is what I saw. Inner, 127. So yeah, you want to run those inners there a little bit lower PSI because they take more of that grunt. And we saw that on the Ford too. 185. Yep, 185 degrees on that rear diff. It's not too bad actually. Front tire, about 122. Brakes about 159. That's one option that got taken away from all the newer trucks, by the way. So on this side, that's some of the emissions crap. Turbo is down here. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, 500. My hand got hot, my bad. Woo, that's hot. But yeah, you guys can see the coolant, right? It's pretty much full. Oh yeah, one last thing, intake. Intake right here was a little bit cooler compared to the Ford. Lastly, AC. Pretty much the exact same as the Ford. What's more important, speed or stopping? I'll let the Ram answer that question real quickly. So the exhaust brake is on right now. You guys see how I'm maintaining the speed? It just downshifted. I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing just now. I did nothing. Now all I gotta do is tap the brakes. Oh, you guys can't see the gear rear end. So you guys can see that, right? I'm doing nothing. Now I'm going to tap the brakes. There it is. Is that a turbo? Or that might be the belt. That's a belt right there. Yeah, I'm just slowing down. And actually I have to hit the brakes now because, yeah, I think that's you're hearing the belch right now. That sucks. Yeah, when I accelerate, it goes away. But yeah, and when it comes down to it, there's no comparison. The Ram has the absolute best exhaust brake, and it's the best at slowing down. I mean, I did absolutely nothing. All I did was took my foot off the gas. Again, downshift it. Holding the speed. I'm not in cruise control or anything. I'm just foot off the gas. That's it. And it's assuming that, oh, maybe they want to slow down because it probably can tell that we're getting pushed by the trailer. Now, if you put this in auto, it won't come on for you. It'll just do what all the other trucks do. But if you tap the brakes in auto, then it comes on a little bit stronger. Yeah, but I don't know what that sound is. It sounds like the belt, or it could be a part of the exhaust brake, guys. It could be a part of that. Doesn't sound good though. Yeah, that sound is coming from the exhaust brake. So yeah, I'm not sure why it sounds so bad. I mean, never heard that before on any truck. But you guys can see right here, exhaust and turbo. So it shows you the exhaust brake is working right there. Really cool. Now, unfortunately, there's a guy that wants to look at this truck. So we're pretty much gonna beat the fuel economy for the Ford. I'll check back when we get to 37 miles. I'm gonna go the same route and then I'm gonna have to head back to the dealership. So I'll show you guys the final number here when we're all done.
Here's the final for the Ram. I will show you a trip computer snapshot too really quickly, where you have an idea of what it showed, about 35 miles and 8.9 mpg was the final. So it did beat out the Ford. However, the Ford did beat out the Ram for speed. Now the temperatures were a little bit different, but it's not enough to really justify that's why the Ram lost. But I will say both trucks, you know, over 100,000 miles, they were traded in. They seem to be pretty stout pickups. So, you know, when it comes down to diesel engines, even at 100,000 miles, these trucks are going to perform pretty flawlessly if they're taken care of. And both trucks had emission controls intact. I don't think I mentioned that in either video, but yeah, both trucks were pretty much bone stock with the exception of the airbags on the Ford F450. But like you see here, you're going to pay a little bit more money on fuel costs for the 450, and that's no surprise. You have lower gearing out back. You know, so, and it's a heavier truck too, which is what you see here. Actually, this is wrong. This is actually the payload for the Ram truck. I wanted to mention that to you guys. The payload, I forgot to get that because I had to rush the truck back to the dealership. So I figured I would just show it to you here. But if you take the 14,000 pound GVWR that it had, subtract it from 5183, it's 8817. Which is a curb weight. So yeah, I want to show you what the payload is basically, and then here is the actual. So the Ford did have a better gross axle rating too. So at the end of the day, if you're planning on towing 20,000 pounds, I would definitely pick an F450 for sure. I mean, 20,000 plus pounds, that truck's going to do better because of that gearing. I think the Ram truck, you're going to have to go high output for sure. Even though the standard output will get the job done, I think that the biggest strength in the high output is having that Eisen transmission. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Make sure your notifications are on. See you guys soon.